I opened up and they asked that do I used to get pregnant in dream or have a child. I said yes, that one time that I even had a dream, I remember that I had a dream I was pregnant. It was the brother that was responsible and even the child too that I gave birth to in the dream. Then the Pastor Rika now said that okay, I should confess after we have the opportunity to talk. And I didn't want to go back to the issue of spirit of I wanted that one to just be like a history to me. The brother too also confirmed that when he went to camp, his sister told him that maybe she had a revelation or a dream about me, that I appeared to her and I remove her eyes and I remove her, was it touch or remove her nose, her mouth and her eyes, that she will not be able to talk again, something like that.
Life is so precious and Jesus cares so much about life and souls, and that was why he came to die for the souls of man, to save mankind from sin. And he established the movement he called the church, where those who would continue in his footsteps would be, and they will have leaders who should have oversight over them. Now, in the process of time, the apostles of Christ, who were the immediate successors to the seat that was vacated by Christ, now they also left and they handed over this responsibility of this baton to others, and so it has continued until it got to our time. Now, the truth is that people who look up to some leaders in church as their spiritual fathers or their spiritual mothers. Now, we know that so many of us frown at this. Now, we cannot stop that. I cannot tell you that it is wrong to call another person father. Now, but it is wrong to idolize another person. That you are calling another person father does not make that person your God. Does not also take the place of your own biological father in the life of that person. And a lot of persons will come and tell us that Jesus said you should not call anybody father on earth. Now, but I understand that if that is the case, Apostle Paul shouldn't have called others his sons. Now, when we call people daddy, it does not imply that they are God. But religion has made so many of us these days to almost replace God in our lives with the men who claim to be servants of God. And like I've always said, that if a man is a man of God, if you take God out of his life, he is an ordinary man. Now, this is the confessional statement, I should call it, of the young lady who got wedded in Holiness Revival Movements Worldwide, HOREMOW, as they called it, in Kogi State, but she is based in Ibadan. Last week, I brought you the video where Pst Paul Rika claimed that the girl had a marine spirit based on his wife's own revelation, as always. And so I thought that what would have been done as the man who has spiritual oversight over the girl, she was to be helped and not to be destroyed further. Now they went ahead and prayed to punish the girl, to destroy the girl, and as they said, handed her over to Satan. Now I brought the mother's own part of the story, where she debunked everything Paul Rika said the woman said. She said she never said any of those things, and she never confirmed to Rika that her daughter had spirit spouse. Now, eventually, Linda, Pastor Rika's wife, saw that video and she called the girl. And I thought that in their discussions, there would be some form of remorse. But then, just like we know, most African leaders would want to intimidate you and to subject you to their whims and caprices. Now here, when you listen to this girl's story, you will understand what the heart of this girl is. I am a Christian, but I think that there are some people that are more Christian than others. I'm not saying that I've lost my faith, but the patience of the girl and even my interactions with her, she still sees, so much in Pastor Rika, even after having destroyed and damaged her character. And so, her statement, this is her own part of the story. I would like you to sit down, listen to this, and see how much help she would have had if she was helped by those around her. And if the things that she said in this story were managed well, we wouldn't have come to the point where we are now. So from here on, you will hear Sister Oiza. God bless you for staying, and I'll be seeing you at the end of the discussion. Please don't go anywhere.
End Time Truth TV. End Time Truth TV.
This is Oiza. I want to first of all apologize for going to the altar with Isaac Adenu, knowing fully well that I don't have marital law for this brother. It's a mistake on my part and I ask God for mercy. Some people who also have concern for me and understand the situation also joined me to pray, and I believe that God has forgiven. I knew this brother when I came to UI for my masters. When he was going to 100 level, the issue of marriage came up, but he was advised to leave marriage aside and focus on his studies. When he was done, he went to the marriage committee and I was called upon. But throughout while he was in school, I do relate with him, we're close, and I want to say that it's like we went ahead of the leadership because there is a standard that we are supposed to follow which we didn't. We're relating so closely to the extent that we'll be talking about marriage and even exchange of gifts. So when I was called upon, when he went to the marriage committee, they discovered that my conviction was not strong enough, so they advised me to go and pray more. The brother was not happy because he felt that I disgraced him in front of the marriage committee, and I agreed with him that I will call them to tell them that I am now fully convinced, which I did. Later on, I discovered that I began to lose interest in this brother, but I was also confused that could it be Satan, because maybe the way we were relating before, it was not, we didn't follow the standard. So it got to the marriage committee and I told them that I don't like some things about the brother, like the way he appears, the way he looks physically. I talked about the way he also speaks as well, that I don't like them. But they told me that these things can be worked on even after marriage. So I felt that maybe I was carnal. I felt that maybe I need to work on myself. So I decided to go and pray more. They asked me, do I want to continue? I said yes. When we went for our counseling section one of these days, I opened up to the marriage committee chairman that I don't have marital love for this brother. The way he answered me, I cannot really say it clearly, but one thing he said that I can remember was that my duty was to submit and not to love. So we continued. When we went for the court wedding, my sister came up to join us here in Ibadan for the court wedding. When we got home, she was telling me her observation that she observed that when we were to hold our hands to make some declaration, or even when we were to snap together, to stand closely to snap, that she discovered that there was this irritation on my part towards this brother. And she asked me that, do I truly love this brother? Because she also been here that I've been making some kind of complaints and maybe saying things like, maybe when we get married, that I'll not be staying in the same room together with him all through that. If God should bless us, I would like to have my own separate room. So some statement that she felt that, do I love this brother like this? I told her that I was like, maybe I said that I'm just entering by faith, because truly I thought that maybe God took away the love from my heart so that I will not misbehave towards him during courtship. I mean lusting after him, so that when I get married to him, the love will come. That was my own thoughts. At this point, I started to get confused. It led me to seek counsel from some of my friends, and one of them told me that I should remember that feelings could be deceptive, that I should not follow my feelings, that this brother is a child of God. Another one told me that I should pray more. He even once counseled me that I should postpone the wedding, that once I marry this brother, nobody will listen to me anymore. When I went to Lokoja, it was then I opened up to my mom and I told her that I don't want to continue with this. I even want to see God's face more. But my mommy was not happy. She was like, when people are already aware, when we have already shared the IV, that is the wedding card, when she has already spent a lot of money. In fact, the way she looked at this, as if I'm going to finish her if I don't continue with this marriage. It was in that same stage that she had to call one of our leaders in Lokoja, because she's not a member. And the leader made a statement like, are they selling us by in the market? How will God give me one of his sons to marry, or a child of God to marry, and I'm saying that I don't have love for him? That can't I go and pray for the love to come? This is someone I respect, so I decided to follow his counsel. Moreover, one of his friends too also spoke to us and told us that it is Satan that is trying to fight us, that both of us, we have a destiny to fulfill together. So I was like, why not? If this is God, why will I not continue with it? Although I lost my peace, it was like a struggle. I wanted to stop it, but it's as if I could not just do that. And I had to also, I remember informing the brother, please let us cooperate together and end this thing, that if it's coming from both of us to end it, it should be more better of both. The brother, I think he was also thinking that, okay, people are already aware, and also, I waited for him all through his school, so he does not want anything like that to happen. I don't know if he has any other motive, but in his heart of hearts, he did not really want us to end everything. I think it was on the second day after the wedding, I woke up, I saw this brother beside me, I began to cry. I was like, how am I going to cope? I don't have love for this brother. As if, my eyes began to open even more. I had to call one of our leaders. Afterwards, I had to tell him that please, that look at my situation. I explained things to him, how I entered this wedding, and that even some things that would have maybe to like this brother, that they are not there. For instance, I gave an example that maybe I don't think myself and the brother can sit down to have a productive discussion, because the brother will tell you that he does not remember. If we discuss something, you tell him that he cannot, in fact he does not remember. And maybe the way he will answer questions at times, maybe in public, even on the day of the traditional wedding, even they went to my uncle's house place as well, at times they will ask him questions, and the way we answer, I will just be embarrassed. People will even be laughing. So I was like, these things that make me to even get attracted to him, but they are not there. But the counsel of the pastor was like that there is nothing that can be done, because I was like, can anything be done since we have not come? So we continued until after some times, when now the time for intimacy, for us to have intimacy, that's when the problem started to even escalate. I was in my staff from Monday, and they were having a random discussion that how can you go and marry someone that you don't have feelings for? That is even in the sex that they know that there is a problem. And that was exactly what was happening to us. And they even said it then that, and if there is problem in sex, marriage. So in fact, it was like a pain to my heart that why didn't I stand my ground? At this point, I want to go back to some of our discussions and agreements during the courtship and what we are facing even after the wedding. During the courtship, I remember that I was open to this brother to an extent. I was like telling him that, okay, in the area of sex, I knew that the brother was saying then I did not like him, but I didn't know it was going to be worse after marriage, because I felt that maybe after the wedding, if he start touching me, the feelings will come and everything. I didn't know that I was just deceiving myself. I told him that please, when we get married, we're not going to have sex immediately. Number one, I didn't want to raise expectations so high, and number two was that the person I was seeing then, I knew I didn't like him. I was thinking that okay, that maybe when we get married, that after some point they get married, they will start to add weight, they will be looking fresh and everything. So I was like, okay, let's just give ourselves space so that it can at least recover. Let me put it that way. I'm talking about physically now. And the brother was not really comfortable, because he was asking me, okay, when are we now going to have sex? He even went to report me one time to one of our leaders that look at what I'm saying. But later on, he was like, that sex is not even his priority as well. That his priority was to help my Christian life and to help in evangelizing my family members, that is going out for evangelism and the rest of it. So this made me to also be comfortable. And also we were having serious issues and arguments during the courtship. In fact, almost every day we will have issue. My mom was even saying that she has never seen this kind of thing in her life, that the way we were always having quarreling, and she was saying, and even himself, they were like saying that maybe when we get married, that everything will become normal. Also, I didn't have respect for him before marriage, and it continued even after the wedding. And for the fact that the love was not even there made matters to be worse. I was not happy, because I felt that I wanted to always have a glorious, a wonderful home, a beautiful home. So when the issue of when we were always having issue, and before the wedding, I begged him. I said that if we are going to have issue, let's even end everything, because I didn't want to enter marriage and it will affect my Christian life. But he always comforted me. There were times that he will tell me that I should not worry, that he will do me good and not evil every day of my life. He will also tell me that that in fact, how can his wife be busy maybe in the kitchen or doing something and he will just be sitting, and that in fact it's not possible, that men that does such, he condemns such men. And he was saying that if his wife is doing something, that he will be doing something else, he will always assist, that in fact, the way he will show me love and concern, in fact, it will be too much, that me, I will tell him that this is too much now. Even people will be saying it in outside house, will be saying that this is too much. And in fact, people will come and learn from him how to be a good husband. But when we entered this marriage, in fact, it was as if it was just like all those things were just like a dream. And maybe the environment did not even provide such to happen, because we were having issues. So this issue of we not consummating our marriage began to spread, and our leaders began to intervene. They will pray along with us, counsel us, and in fact, my overseer, how I really respect him, and I wanted to just do as he said, but it was not also easy for me, because at times seeing this brother's nakedness, I often be irritated. How am I going to do it? It was like now like a burden to me, a punishment. At times I will be crying that how am I going to cope? What am I going to do? And it's also affected me in my place of work. People began to observe that they are not seeing the joy of marriage in me. Some even came to meet me that what is happening. The brother himself too, it was not really showing in him that he got married. So everything was just messy. So I want to state here that in this marriage, I can say that I lost my Christianity. The brother I've already mentioned on his testimony how I misbehaved towards him, and I don't want to go into that anymore. But I just knew that because of the issue I was having, I didn't want to be a hypocrite. So I told my choir leader that I want to step down and return the money that was my possession, because I was keeping the money for choristers, and also that of the youth, so I had to return it. So I was also bitter against this brother because I felt he raised my expectations so high that he's romantic, he would this, he would that, but how come we're not? It was as if, and I was scared because of my Christian life, my Christian journey, and this was my fear before I entered this marriage. And the brother told me that I should not worry, that he will, help me and everything. So I was just bitter. So this just began to go worse. And later on, they were asked to go for deliverance, which I subjected myself to. When I got to the first place for deliverance, because we went to deliverance on 2 occasions, I was asked about my dream life. I opened up and they asked that do I used to get pregnant in dream or have a child. I said yes, that one time that I even had a dream, I remember that I had a dream I was pregnant. It was the brother that was responsible, and even the child too that I gave birth to in the dream, that is the brother. So I felt that maybe because we want to get married, that's why I'm having such about him. They now told me that no, his spiritual husband. They prayed, and we also went for deliverance again as well. They questioned me, I answered, and they also prayed along. They prayed for us. Still, the consummation was not still a success. Later on, I began to hear that people are saying that I'm possessed, or thinking I'm possessed, that I married a brother purposely to destroy him. I was not happy because I know that the state I was already, I was not happy with myself, because I know that it's against God's word what was happening. And for me to now hear again that my fellowship members are thinking that way, it also weakened me. So I was no longer comfortable even in church. At times, I would think that people are using that kind of eyes to look at me. So until later on, I now heard that Pastor Paul Rika is coming to Ibadan. I was happy and I was anticipating this coming because I wanted him to come and clear the air, so I will not be thinking that I'm possessed again. I also had to invite my mom too, that she should come and see him, because she was a witness that I didn't want to enter into the marriage. So because it was looking like as if I was the one that made the brother to enter into this with me to punish him. So she spoke with Pastor Rika and she agreed to come. The brother left the house early November, and I encouraged him not to go, but he was like saying that no, that there must be a solution to this problem of us, that we cannot continue like this. When he left, after some times, I also lost my peace. At times I will be crying. At times I have to even call my mommy at odd hours that look at it, because I know that this is not God's standard for me. Then I had to speak with the brother that he should please lead me to Christ again, that I want to start afresh with Jesus, knowing fully well that I lost my Christianity. And also, I also explained some things about myself, so that he sent me some prayer point I should be praying at midnight for deliverance, which I did by God's grace. Then after the prayers too, I believe that God has helped me, that even if I had any spiritual problem, I've already overcome, because my sister used to tell me then that I should not be saying I have spiritual when I'm a child of God. So with this prayer, I was like, let's spiritual one, let's even be a history. I don't want to go to it again. I believe that God has delivered me. Then to add to this again, December, I had to send a message to the brother to apologize to him, that in all the areas I offended him all through our stay together, in my words, in my actions, or all through, actually, that I should please forgive me. And he told me that he has forgiven me, that I should be peaceful. So I don't know why he went ahead to be mentioning some things in his testimony that I did to him, but let me just leave that one aside. Okay, so then after everything, so we went with Pastor Rika in the hotel. In the hotel room, honestly, I already felt somebody called us and we were saying us. I already felt something. I knew that I was wrong, not consummating my marriage. I know, accept that. Even before that meeting, someone told me the one actually at the end of it all. So I felt that I already felt, Then the Pastor Rika now said that okay, I should confess after we have the opportunity to talk. And I didn't want to go back to the issue of spirit husband, but I wanted that one to just be like a history to me. So I was like, I don't know what to actually say like that when they said I should confess. So he now said that I am a marine. I came to the brother's life to destroy him. Purpose that I casted a spell on him. And as was just said in the video, actually, I'm also a witch as well. He said that in the hotel room. So I was confused because this is the ministry I've been attending and I believe the word of God that they've been preaching for the years I've been there. I've helped my Christian life and even the revelational messages as well. So I was confused that okay, that is it that I'm into something and I'm not even aware. So I had to tell Mommy Linda that I'm not aware of anything like this. It's my own brain that I can use to know myself. But she now said that no, that I am. The brother too also confirmed that when he went to camp, his sister told him that maybe she had a revelation or a dream about me, that I appeared to her and I remove her eyes and I remove her, is it touch or remove her nose, her mouth and her eyes, that she will not be able to talk again, something like that. So all those, it was strange to me because that was my first time of hearing that. So I did not really understand. I was confused. Let me put it that way, I was confused. So they said that if I don't confess that I'll be excommunicated and they will pray against me. So I was on my knees. I was like, okay, that is Jesus I want. It's Jesus, because actually it's Jesus I really want. Because even during the crusade, I remember that I still dedicate my life again to Jesus. But later on, they left, and it was in my working place the next day that I now said they now sent a message to me that someone sent a video to me of what was preached on that same day. I was weak actually. I was very weak about it, but thank God that I have two friends and brothers. One of them had to even pray along with me, encouraging me and make me to feel that I should not worry. And this was what helped me to be able to carry on my day-to-day activities with the prayers and the counsel of these brothers. So I want to say that my aim is not to tarnish the image of this brother, bro Isaac Adeniro. No, but I just want to say that if he had allowed us and he had married someone else, maybe they would have been living peacefully. And if I was also given the opportunity to marry someone that I love and desired, perhaps this problem will not occur the way it is now. But all the same, I thank God for everything, because none unto God are all his works, even from the foundation of the world. I thank God, and I believe that God will have mercy on me in the areas I made mistake at, and also I pray that God will be glorified in all of this in Jesus' name. Amen. So by God's grace, I have never been involved in any form of witchcraft before. I have never seen myself in any group whereby I'll be given power to manipulate any human being. I have never been in any strange society, be it in the dream or even physically, whereby I'll be given power to bewitch anybody. By God's grace too, I have never seen myself making any agreements or covenants with any personality, be it in the dream or physically, that I will not marry, or if I marry, I should not have sex with anybody, or the person will die or I will die. So all these things are strange to me. Even the one that the brother said in the hotel room, that someone told him that he has a relation about me in the camp, that I removed her eyes, I removed her mouth. All they were just strange to me, because I cannot remember myself being involved in anything of such. By the special grace of God, I have related with people, my colleagues, and also even in the fellowship center as well. People have related closely with me. Some people have even come to sleep in my place, and even exchange of some things. And by the special grace of God, nobody can come out and say that I initiated or manipulated the person. My desire has been to serve God in holiness and righteousness. I didn't come to the church with the intention of making any evil. No, I came because I want to serve Jesus and I want to make it to heaven. That is my utmost desire even till today. And I know that by God's grace, God will help me, that I will serve him in righteousness and holiness and make it to his kingdom in Jesus' name.
Now, she said so many things. You're welcome back, and I believe you have listened to her very well. And even if I don't say anything, you should be able to have made up your mind who actually has a problem or who had a problem in the whole thing. All right? Now, my own stand has been from the beginning. Even before I heard the complete story from her, I saw a girl that was struggling with her environment. I saw a girl who was struggling with the place where she was brought up spiritually. Now, I am not saying that HOREMOW as it is a devil's gulag. That's not what I'm saying. But that place has been manipulated. Since 2013, 2014, things have been going wrong. And if you are within that system, you won't understand, just as she doesn't understand. Now, to start with, the prayer that was raised against her, she doesn't like it, right? But she probably may have prayed also against some people in that light because she doesn't understand. But now that she has been at the receiving end, I believe that her understanding now is shaped. And so also it is with you, who I know may be looking at me as a hater of Pst Paul Rika. Why should I hate Rika? I don't have any business with him. My business with him is that he said he's a pastor, he said he's a Christian. But then there is something that is ultimately wrong. Now, to start with, if this girl was in the marine kingdom and Paul came and the girl has told you that she has gone for deliverance and you claimed to be of a higher authority than the person to whom she went for deliverance, and that person is even more justified than you because in the person's little authority, this person attempted to help by praying and trying to deliver the person. Now you came, instead of you using that your higher authority, engaging it and putting it to work, at least to stamp out the authority of Satan in the life of a girl that calls you daddy. Now, the only thing you were eager was for the girl to so much admit and agree and confess in order to validate the dreams of your wife. And eventually, when she insisted that the only encounter she has had was in dreams and no other person, the same person that she was engaged to, she married maybe before the marriage. And I think I'll have to pause this video now to get that. I've called her before because this part is very important to me. I want to know and I want to be sure that she said it was the same Isaac she saw in her dreams that she gave birth to a child for, and we will take it from that place. It may not be significant, but I just want to establish something. Let me pause the video and try and calling her. I've tried before, but I didn't get her. All right, I still didn't get her, but I will do that. Maybe before I finish this recording, she'll be there. Now, that was this girl being very open and being a person who needs help, and she told you she needs Jesus. The only thing you did was confess, always communicate you from the church, and hand you over to Satan. My question to religious leaders who are so heartless and so disconnected from the people that they lead, in order to stamp their authority over them and to show them that they are gods over their lives, would Rika have been happy if his own daughter, if he has a daughter like this girl, and that daughter is genuinely possessed by the devil, would he openly hand that child of his own daughter over to Satan? Would he openly come before the congregation and say, I have a daughter, and this girl has been in the marine kingdom? Even if you have tried, and the girl openly tells you, I'm not coming out. Now this girl says, okay, yes, I am in the marine kingdom, I'm not coming out. Would a Pastor Rika be happy, be bold enough to come out and tell the whole world, my daughter is a marine and we are praying to punish her, to hand her over to Satan? But this girl tells you in her confusion, I need Jesus. I need Jesus. From Paul's own statement, Paul said it is that same Jesus that is about to punish you now. A pastor. Now, I wonder how some persons breathe and think when you come under a video like this. You don't separate sentiments from reality, and you want to type and defend someone whose action, I'm not asking you to reject him, I'm not asking you to hate him, but you condemn things, you empathize. When you don't have empathy, you are a devil, you cannot sympathize. If you don't have empathy for another person, you don't juxtapose the situation and put yourself in the position of that person. There's no way you'll be kind, you cannot be merciful, you cannot sympathize. Right? Now, every person that spoke with this girl, all of them spiritualized the matter that was not always supposed to be spiritual. Now, starting from the person that's one of the leaders in the marriage committee who told her, how can God give you, do they sell husband in the market? How can God give you his child? And then you say you don't love him. Can't you go and pray for love? And that was the icing on the cake, because she said this is the leader that she respects. And she took that, swallowed that. Now, when she lost her peace, I think that one of the signs of God speaking in a matter, most especially over marriage issue, is that God may not even tell you, yes, I have approved her, I've approved him, go ahead and marry the person. Now, when you remember this person, when you think of this person, you have peace of mind. But in her own case, she lost her peace of mind. And she was shouting, even though that she was sheepishly and religiously going along with everybody who is talking to her that this might be the devil trying to stop you. And who knows, that dream might be a manipulation from the devil to make her go against the will of God for her life. And so at the end of the day, now everybody, in the church leadership was quick and eager to condemn her. Now, remember, there was a pressure from the mother. There was pressure from the brother. The brother too was a victim of the environment because he was also spiritualizing everything. And look at the gap, the intellectual gap between the two of them. Now, you see, it is, though that might not be anything. She came for her master's in Ibadan when the brother was going into university at 100 level. And it was even at that point in time that he started talking about marriage. All right. Now, so how was it that she was the one that engineered the thing and cast a spell of love in the brother's heart? One of the things that also came from the marriage committee, I think I'm not mixing it up, was that her duty was not to love, but to submit. And that was one of the errors, because naturally you don't submit to somebody you don't love. Even in leadership and followership, if you don't love your leader, as in loving your leader, liking the person, the personality of your leader, you can't submit to your leader. It is natural. And we're talking about marital love. And somebody is saying that her duty was not to love, it was to submit. Now, Paul Rika became so carnal that he likened marriage to the ancient time. The ancient time when people were married off against their own rights, against their own will, that sometimes a 16-year-old girl would be married out to a 40-year-old man, 50-year-old man. And at times, the person that girl was even being given out to, she doesn't know the person. And eventually, when she sees the person she wants to marry, she'll be like, no, I can't marry this person. But now I tell you a story, example of what happened in my family in the days of my own fathers. My uncle was an influential man, a very good man, an influential man. And he had a younger brother who lived, not in the village. He was in another town. And this man has spent almost all of his time, there without a wife. Being that he was also physically not all that good looking. And my uncle was a very good, a huge man, very attractive. He went on to look for a young lady and trying to summarize, for his younger brother, who is somewhere. I won't, give out everything. I want to give out every detail so that the children will not be angry with me. Now, so the thing was that my uncle went, married the young lady, and when the marriage was done, he now sent for his younger brother to come home. When the younger brother returned home, and this young lady saw the man that she was to marry, she was like, no, I will not marry this man. If you are now, speaking to my uncle now, if it is you, I will marry you. As at that time, my uncle was having about 2 or 3 wives of his own, about 2 then. So she was willing to become either the 3rd or the 4th wife because she liked the person she saw in my uncle, but not in the other of my uncle, his younger brother. Now, what did my uncle do? He went back to the girl's family and told them, your daughter said she's not marrying my brother. And if that is the case, you people will refund me everything I spent. And because there was not even record taken as at that time, he doubled everything that he spent. And the father of the girl became helpless and was like, you must go ahead and marry the person. And that was how, against her will, she did. So that is, and I have another story, but I'm stopping it here. And these are things that happened around me, not far. Okay, so for a preacher to bring that kind of a thing, a preacher who pride himself as being a man that loves the will of God, to think that how the girl feels does not matter. Now she opened up and said that the guy's presence irritates her, and that is because she doesn't have this love. Now the Bible talks about Isaac and Rebekah, that when Isaac saw Rebekah, he was attracted to the woman, he took her in and loved her. And Rebekah too, when she saw Isaac, her immediate reaction was a reaction of a woman that liked what she saw. When Jesus told us wash and pray, listen, if this guy is the will of God for Isaac, God would have worked on her heart. God would have worked on her heart. So every other person that should have helped her, giving her the right counsel, did not help her. Rather, they helped in compounding the case that her duty was to submit and not to love. Everybody was telling her to go and pray for the love to come. The other person said it was Satan that was trying to hinder them, that God had destined to use the 2 of them, blah, 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 blah. Now, becoming over spiritual about the things. And this is what we do, where we spiritualize everything and we accuse Satan even when Satan was not around. When we even give him invitation sometimes, he becomes too busy. He doesn't want to come. And when things go wrong, we say he is the person. Now, the other person, she said that she didn't have respect for him before or after wedding because there was no love. There was no love. There was no love. And so Satan went about, now, in order to cement the opinion and the mindset of the people about the girl, Satan went about giving people strange dreams about her. So in the strange dreams, somebody had a dream where she came and removed her mouth, removed her eyes, and she could not speak, in order to make her look really, really what she has been painted to be like. Now, the truth is this will not be the first case, and this will not be the last case in church. When I uploaded the other video, the second video on this matter, where either the first or the second one, a lady sent me a message. Now, I'm sharing this now because I have her permission to share. She even sent me a proof that she wedded in HOREMOW. Similar story. Now, so we can see that it is not the devil, it is the wrong foundation there. Now, she wrote, I'm sharing it, like I said, because she permitted me to share the text, but not her picture to prove what she's saying. Now, she said, hello, I just recently saw your video on YouTube about the young lady who Paul Rika accused of witchcraft. I wanted to share with you that something similar happened in my case in HOREMOW. I got married to a brother in HOREMOW in whom we were both very much infatuated to each other in December 2023. There was no true love between the brother and I because we did not know each other, but we were obsessed with this idea of marriage. Once we submitted each other's names to the marriage committee for marriage, we had to cut contact with each other until they vetted us and underwent a series of procedures. The marriage committee told me to keep my desire for marriage to this brother a secret from my family and anyone until it was the right time. That time ended up being after the brother proposed to me for marriage, and so my own parents were completely excluded from everything concerning marriage in HOREMOW. In fact, HOREMOW never spoke to my parents or cared to talk to them. HOREMOW was the ones to act as my parents by approving and denying anything that had to do with me and marriage. After the brother proposed to me, we were told to immediately start planning for wedding, and that we needed to submit the date to the church within and around 6 months. After HOREMOW allowed us to start courtship, we were denied the right to speak to each other face to face without an elder sitting in between us to listen to our conversations. Can you imagine? There was a time in where we both attended a wedding, and while there, as we were talking to one another, an elder pulled me away from him by force because I was not supposed to be talking to him without their approval. During this time, we talked through the phone or FaceTime. As of today, the brother and I are no longer married. 2023 marriage. The truth is, we never knew one another and we were denied the God-given right to do so. We argued and fought about almost everything. I realized that I was not in love with him and was wrongly counseled and rushed into marriage. I believe that my story is very similar to Oiza's. I know how she feels. What happened to me and my ex-husband was a big shock to everyone in HOREMOW, and all they did was cover it up and act like it never happened. And so, I believe that this is the second public failed marriage in HOREMOW within the last 3 years of the church. Paul Rika may have wanted to make an example of this girl to protect his image. I have never taken this information to the internet or challenged the ministry out of fear of becoming like Oiza, out of fear of being called a marine queen. I could go on and on about this and about the many cruel and controlling things that Paul Rika and the church did during this time. I just wanted to confess this to you, that HOREMOW is a destroyer of true marriages. Did you know that by definition, what I am describing is defined as an arranged marriage? If this kind of marriages can be proven as arranged in a court of law and annulled, then can we say it is righteous? Marriage committees destroy people and they control people in the name of religion and holiness. Everyone deserves the right to freely court and choose their spouse without the pressure and business of the church. It is the Holy Spirit's job to convict us or pull us towards our mates, not the churches. Thank you for taking the time to read. I inserted a picture of me and on my wedding day. Please don't share it or post it online. I just wanted to share it with you for proof. And so I stick true to this promise. And I wouldn't even have shared this text if she had not permitted me to do so. So what I'm trying to tell you here is that religion has damaged a lot of things. Religion has destroyed so many things in this life. Now, we know, yes, that there is the need to help the brother and the sister in order to pull them away from that urge, that drive. Now, but at the same time, you don't police people around. You are not the Holy Spirit. He who will sin will sin. Somebody who has been, let me not go into it so much. The video is almost too long. So I said, this is not the first and it will not be the last. In church, now people must be very, very careful. Now, when you pray, and if these whole people around her could not pray and guide her well. Now, the primitive nature of the girl is not because she's an illiterate. You heard her, she's well educated. But religiosity has a way of making people look so confused. Religion. And in HOREMOW, religion is rife. Religion, self-piety, self-righteousness is rife. And that's why I said that Isaac became a victim of the environment. He became a victim of that environment. Now, but in this case, they chose who they want to punish, and who they want to bring in, who they want to destroy and disgrace, and who they want to bring in. Now, even there are things that I may not speak, because looking at the background and the surroundings of the brother, I don't think he was even ready and ripe enough for marriage, right? He wasn't. Now, it's as I began to listen to this story that I understood why Paul Rika gave money to the pastor to give to them. If it was money that was making noise, not to have sex with her husband so that she would take money and be happy. Do you buy that kind of a thing with money? You don't buy it with money. And so he knew why he was sending money. Why not make the life of the brother fine first? Why not establish him first? Why not make him viable and strong enough to handle his own responsibilities? Well, let me not say so much. Well, anyways, thank you very much for this. Unfortunately, I wanted to ask her 2 questions. I wanted to confirm something. I wanted to confirm if she has ever had feelings for any man before, all through her time in school and when she served and came to do her master's. Even though as a Christian, has she ever seen any man that she loved, that she would have truly wanted to spend her life with? Now, before I finish editing this video, if she calls me back, I will ask her that question and you will have it. Thank you and God bless you. See you in the next video. See that? From me to you. Shalom.
End Time Truth TV, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.